normalized period cramps, mood swings, hot flashes, or a low sex drive, our new female nutrition line is going to change all of that. And to tell you a little bit more about the science behind hormonal health, I'm really excited and honored today to announce a new member joining the Modare Scientific Advisory Board, Dr. Jane Frederick, a highly renowned board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, obstetrician, gynecologist in Newport Beach, California. Dr. Frederick has over 30 years of experience in women's health and is the medical director of HRC Fertility in Orange County, an affiliate of Keck Medicine at USC, or the University of Southern California. She was just named top doctor of 2022 by the Orange County Medical Association and has been awarded top women's health doctor by Los Angeles Magazine and a top reproductive endocrinologist from U.S. News and World Report. Dr. Frederick specializes in reproductive surgery, IVF, genetic screening of embryos, fertility preservation, and reproductive health. Her expertise actually fills in a very important role on the Modare Scientific Advisory Board, and she brings invaluable insight to this exciting new chapter in female health. Hi, Dr. Frederick. I'm so excited that you're here with us. And you know, I have so much respect for you, and I'll never forget, just to put it in perspective for everyone listening, we are so honored that you're on our Modare Scientific Advisory Board. And I remember going out to dinner with you because we are neighbors in Newport Beach, California. And we went out to dinner once, and I think like probably 3 different times when someone came into the restaurant, they stopped and they were like, Dr. Frederick. And of course, you probably didn't know who they were because you see so many patients. But they introduce you, they're like, you changed my life 7 years ago, or you helping people have babies and overcome all their issues. And it just made me, I knew what you did was so very important, but you know, it just made me realize that, like, the impact and reach that you have with what you do. So we're so honored that you're on our scientific advisory board on behalf of all of Modare. I wish you a very warm welcome and the start to many years of your contribution to Modare and everything that we're doing here. So I have a number of questions for you. Lots of people have lots on their mind, but you know, particularly, you know, I'm sure in your practice you see so many women who experience PMS symptoms, occasional heavy periods, low libido even, and who actually suffer from menopause with lots of hot flashes and night sweats, kind of like what I was mentioning with even observing it with my own mother. You know, yet we also know someone who breezes right through their menstrual cycle or throughout their menopause without any kind of discomfort. I want to know, what's their secret?
Well, it's easy to chalk period discomfort or menopausal discomfort up to your hormones. But your hormones are merely messengers. They're relaying information that something is out of balance in the body. Your hormones take cues from your internal and external environment, and they signal your body to respond accordingly. Women who breeze through their menstrual cycles and through menopause tend to have healthy habits in these internal and external aspects of their lives. Internally, by focusing on optimal gut health, nutrition, and cellular health, and externally in terms of stress management and limiting environmental toxins.
Wow. So it sounds like there's just a lot of different factors that affect hormonal health. And how does a woman know if her hormones are really out of balance?
Well, you know, the concept of hormonal balance, it's a little misleading because our hormones are always constantly fluctuating. For menstruating and perimenopausal women in particular, your hormones change on a daily or weekly basis depending on where you're at in the cycle. Most women can benefit from a female health supplement that targets the various phases of their cycle. Now, there are key indicators we can look for that indicate if your body is out of sync. And women have this fantastic female intuition where you know if something feels off, even if it isn't detectable in a medical sense. You don't need lab work to know if your periods are irregular compared to your unique baseline, or to know if your mood and energy levels aren't what you're used to. If your period is occasionally heavier than normal or more painful than normal, or if you notice breast tenderness and mood swings, it could indicate your estrogen and progesterone are out of sync. If you're in your 40s and 50s, you might start having trouble sleeping, night sweats, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, brain fog, low libido. We associate those normal symptoms with lower estrogen levels. Testosterone levels are very important to female health too. It's not something most women realize they have, but testosterone changes can manifest in irregular menstrual cycles, increased body and facial hair, skin congestion, weight gain, energy levels, and changes in your sex drive.
Wow. So I think a lot of women, don't understand the role of, what our hormones do, the role that they play, or even what hormones we have, right? So beyond the typical ones that we've all heard of, like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, are there any other hormones that we should be aware of that really affect the female health in particular?
Yes. We have over 50 hormones in our bodies. When it comes to how they communicate with each other and make you feel on a daily basis, there are several pathways or axes to consider. The ovary-brain axis primarily regulates sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, but it's not the only axis that plays a role in overall hormone balance. The gut-brain axis is essential to dopamine and serotonin, which affect your mood. The adrenal brain axis is responsible for your sleep cycle and stress response, as it regulates cortisol, adrenaline, and insulin. And for women, the thyroid brain axis plays a big role in menstruation and menopause, with the various thyroid hormones that impact energy, metabolism, and cognitive function, as well as the appearance of your hair, skin, and nails.
Wow. And I noticed you mentioned cortisol. So when I turned 40, it took me a minute to actually figure out what my body was all of a sudden kind of going haywire and what it was going through. And I blamed it on stress of like sending my daughter off to college at the time, combined with so much travel that I was doing while running a company and overseeing the acquisition of my company too at the time. I feel like a lot of women go through this medical gaslighting where our symptoms are actually blamed on stress. So how much truth, and what is that, a myth or not, is there, connecting stress and hormones?
Cortisol plays a big role. Your body creates cortisol in response to stress. If you feel like you're burned out or overwhelmed, or you notice occasional anxiety or trouble sleeping, it can indicate your cortisol or stress hormones are kind of stuck in the on position. You might notice you're craving more comfort foods, or you're having more mood swings and PMS symptoms. When women report low libido, we often chalk it up to stress, and there actually is quite a bit of scientific evidence that cortisol and sex drive are linked. For menopausal women, there's a scientific link between cortisol levels and bone and cardiovascular health. So there is a definite connection between cortisol and women's health. That said, you should never downplay the effect of stress on your health or be made to feel like it's all in your head. One of the features I love about this new product line that Modare is launching is that it incorporates ingredients highly studied for their effects on occasional stress and anxiety.
Wow. A lot of women's health supplements, particularly those that target menopausal women, include soy isoflavones, which are marketed as plant-based alternatives to hormones. From a medical standpoint, what does that mean, and are they safer?
So when we talk about supplementing with hormones, we're usually referring to hormone replacement therapy. For some women with certain diagnosable hormone deficiencies, hormone replacement therapy may be beneficial, but this should always be done under the supervision of your doctor and typically isn't the first course of action for most women. Hormones like estrogen and progesterone aren't used in dietary supplements. there's something that would be medically prescribed. Soy isoflavones, on the other hand, are permitted by the FDA in supplements. I think a lot of women perceive them as being safer than hormones because they're allowed by the FDA, but that's not necessarily the case. They can act like estrogen in your body and have the potential to really throw your hormones out of balance, especially if you aren't under a supervision of your doctor.
So a feature that sets our new line apart, which I'm so excited about, by the way, from other supplements marketed to women, is that it's hormone-free. You know, it doesn't contain soy isoflavones, and of course, it doesn't contain hormones not permitted by the FDA. Can you talk a bit more about how it works to promote hormone health without the use of hormones?
What this new line does is it optimizes your hormone health by supporting your body's natural state of balance and takes a more intuitive approach that yields excellent results for women. The Modare Women's Health line is based on research that studies how your body's amino acids, lipids, vitamins, minerals, and more fluctuate throughout your menstrual cycle and change in the menopause. Normal menstrual and menopausal discomfort can be linked to changes in 67 different biochemical markers. So, when we support the body with supplements that help make these levels more consistent throughout your cycle, we can improve overall well-being and hormone balance without directly acting on your hormones. Remember our example earlier of women who breeze through their menstrual cycles and menopause? They're more likely getting the right kind of nutritional support to keep these biochemical markers at more consistent levels day to day. These amino acids, lipids, and more affect the same axes or pathways as your hormones, the ovary-brain axis, gut-brain axis. So when we focus on supplements that support cellular, gut, and digestive health, as well as sleep and stress, we can help bring your body into optimal state without directly acting on your hormones. The female body is amazing. I've been in practice for the last 30 years, and I have been studying the female body for so much in my practice that it's when all the body systems are working together in harmony, you shouldn't be experiencing the uncomfortable symptoms we associate with normal periods, PMS, and menopause. And this exciting new line coming to Modare really empowers you to feel your best and love your body.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frederick, for lending your time and expertise